Welcome everyone once again. Welcome to today's seminar. It's our first seminar, and we call this seminar Encounter with Ubon. It's a bi-monthly seminar, and Ubon Humanitarian Foundation is a non-profit and charity organization that aims to establish a supportive family for young people, irrespective of your sex, race, ethnicity, tribe, religion, gender, and sexual orientation, and to enable them discover, develop their talents and purpose, their dreams, thereby attaining self-fulfillment and effecting positive change in our society. So if you are here, we want to welcome you because you have taken time out of your limited time that you have to join us. Thank you very much for joining us. And Encounter with Ubon is, thank you, Kolawole, thank you. Okay, so as young people, we encounter so many challenges, life challenges, including issues related to sexuality, our career, our self-development, and so on. And these challenges often impact our relationship and personal achievement. These challenges affect how we youth actually see things, how we want to do things, how we impact in our society, and most importantly, it affects the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. Before now, I know some of us know about the Sustainable Development Goals. These Sustainable Development Goals are the goals that everyone, wherever you are in the world, we are supposed to achieve before 2030. And these goals are for the betterment of humanity, for everyone, because it is believed that everyone is equal, everyone's supposed to have a good life, is supposed to be in a good state of mind, and so on. And so at this encounter with Ubon, we'll be diving into so many issues that actually affect our personality, our involvement in the society, and providing a sustainable solution to this problem. So I won't be doing this alone today. I have with me a speaker, a very beautiful speaker today with me. Her name is Clemency Ishaya. I hope I pronounced it right, Clemency. Please, are you there? Hello, Clemency. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. Hope you are doing great today.
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. So I'll be reading Clemency profile. Clemency is Sarah Isaiah, embodied versatile leadership with over a decade expertise in business development and strategic management, rooted in criminology and security analysis. Collaborating closely with top executives, she orchestrates successful presidential campaigns and advocate for global causes like mental health, disability rights, and youth empowerment, leading groundbreaking initiatives such as YAI Foundation and Glide. Clemency tackles urgent societal challenges from drug addiction to climate change justice. She leaves an indelible mark through international company branches and legislative reform, cementing her as a pivotal figure in global change. Here we have Clemency, an expert in mental health and drug addiction. Clemency, it's nice having you here.
Thank you, Leda. Thank you.
Okay, so without wasting time, Clemency, we want you to tell us about mental health. What is mental health all about? How does it affect us? And what we should actually know about mental health? This before we go into discussion today. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Clemency, and I am from Plateau State, Nigeria. I am 33 years old. So anybody with a feel say a big person, I'm sorry. I will learn every day. So I'm here to also learn. So it's not about just us talking and it's about a learning session. We want to learn from each other. So mental health is it's a general topic that have branches. So overall, mental health is the psychological, emotional, and social well-being of a human being. So it does not matter whether you're a man or a woman. Mental health is not a hair. Please, let's remove. There's an idea that mental health is witchcraft, or is there are so many myths which we're going to talk about today. But in general, mental health is about our social well-being, our psychological well-being, our emotional well-being, how we see things around us, how we feel things, the things that affect us, how do we handle them? That is what mental health is all about. So we have different causes of mental health. We have a genetic cause. So what is genetic? Genetics is your trait, your family tree. There are some people today that their family gets some kind mental health issues. Please, mind you, mental health is not madness. So let's remove that out of the way. Mental health is just a disease, a sickness that actually can be cured. So it's not something that is a stigma that when you have mental health, hey, they mad, do a mad person. No. So mental health is more like a sickness or a disease, just like malaria. But instead of you seeing it, you are not seeing it. It's because you are internalizing the sickness. So nobody can see it. Just you alone can feel it until when it has become chronic. That is when others can also
Can't
feel
see it. Okay.
some of your mental health. So that is what mental health is all about. So it's not a myth, it's not mad people something. It is not witchcraft. It is not your people that this one, they don't go commit something, I make this thing they happen to now. No. It's that sometimes also another cause of it is the environment in which you grew. The setting, the family setting, what has happened within those times that you were growing. Those can also create mental health issues for somebody. For instance, now we have a 6-year-old boy who is always happy. He grew up to see his father and the mama, papa and mama. They're having a lot of fun. They're happy. Something along the line happened, which is, let's say maybe the father died. Now, because this child is not exposed to pain, have never experienced sadness, have never experienced anything other than joy, happiness, the togetherness of a family. This child now, if it's not counseled, the child can become withdrawn without you as the parents knowing that, okay, this is what has happened. You will just see that this once happy child is no longer happy. This once peaceful child is now causing trouble or looking for trouble everywhere. So this is another dimension that we are looking at in health, in mental health. That is not just genetics, but it's also life experiences. Then we have the medical condition. You see, so sometimes medically, when somebody is, what would I call it now? You have, let's say, disability, for instance, you have a disability. And this disability, let's say it's you don't have your both legs. Already is going to cause you to be much lesser understanding of any other person that is talking to you about
Yeah.
anything. Because why? You don't even have legs. So when you hear somebody complaining that they cannot go to somewhere, you are going to be pissed at that person. Because why? You will not get leg. You did get leg. You go there, you don't whine me. So over time, this person can develop mental health issues by just the fact that they cannot do what they want to do. They are seeing every other person around them doing that same thing. They are now incapacitated. They cannot do it. So that makes them, they can withdraw from society or become problematic to society if care is not taken. So that is why we talk about counseling, which we're going to come later to discuss. Then we have the social determinants, sorry. So you take Igbo, let's use Igbo for instance. You carry Igbo, you smoke, or what do we call the other one? Colos.
Marijuana or colos, yeah.
So Colorado, you took Colorado because you want to prove a point to your friends that you too, you did there, Odogu. So you've taken this Colorado, your brain cannot carry Colorado just like your friend's own. It can drive you crazy. It can trigger your brain activity to become hyperactive. So from your brain now, your brain will start seeing so many things that are causing you a lot of mental health issues. You can become schizophrenic because of that alone. That's why you see some of them, they're screaming. They think they're seeing something. Meanwhile, they are not seeing anything. So if care is not taken, this person can cross the line or cross the boundary from a sane person, somebody that now have mental issues that needs to be handled medically and in an emergency. Then we also have types of mental health. What are the types? We say there's mental health now. We have talked about the causes, some of the causes, because I don't want to take all of our time. Now we have anxiety disorders. So what are anxiety disorders? Anxiety disorders are like when you have worry or fear, you have some kind of inbuilt fear, or you're constantly getting worried, you're constantly afraid. It could be just like we talk about the causes. So it's from the causes that we're going to be able to analyze you and diagnose that, okay, this person have what? Anxiety disorder. Or we can say, okay, this person have mood disorder, which is another type of mental health. The mood is more like a bipolar. You today you are hot, tomorrow you are cool. Today you are hot. In one day, somebody can be hot and cold. What do you mean by hot and cold? Somebody can be very happy one minute and very sad the next minute.
Yes.
So bipolar is a mood disorder. Bipolar. So when you hear somebody say, "Oh, I am bipolar," it's one of the mood disorder. So now, what is bipolar? Let's just, because so many of us they have not been diagnosed, but they have a little bit of bipolar. So now I want to correct us that bipolar is not everybody you see that today is happy, and is sad. Yeah, you have bipolar. No, that's not bipolar. It has to be chronic to become a mental disorder. Okay, so simply because somebody made you sad today, and then later you are happy, then they say, oh, she have bipolar. No, you don't get bipolar. It has to be chronic. And usually with bipolar, it's every extreme end of the other side. So if you're happy, you're extremely happy, and you'll be making so many decisions in that happiness. Then if it's the sadness, you're extremely sad that you can even harm yourself or harm others. Now that is bipolar. Then we have schizophrenia. It's an illness that's affecting a person's perception of reality. That is, you are seeing reality, but the way we are seeing it is the different version of what you are seeing. So that is schizophrenia. It's actually a serious medical condition. Then we have eating disorders. There are some people today that when they start eating something, until they see to the end of that thing before they will stop eating it. So it can cause it's a disorder that if not curtailed, they can actually go extreme with it.
But
So
this
I
eating
think
disorder, sorry, when you are talking about eating disorder, are you saying is the normal way we are eating, or when you just eat different things altogether?
no, okay. Have you met someone that is extremely obese?
Okay, yes,
Have
yes.
you? Yeah. So if you've seen some people, they will eat to an extent that the eating becomes a health issue. Now, when you go to some TikTokers, most especially, let's use a single example. There's a TikToker, I'm not going to name the person's name, is a TikToker, is very, very big. He uses his eating disorder to create content.
Okay.
So
Oh.
he can eat 50 burgers at a go.
Wow.
You understand? So this kind of person definitely have a eating disorder. Now, if not checkmate, this person was not checkmate. It wasn't checkmated, and unfortunately, he's now dead.
Oh.
Yes. So that is the eating disorder. We are not talking about, because you ate shawarma in the morning, you now felt like eating akara. You now felt, oh, let me eat
Exactly.
bread. No, 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 no. We're talking about extreme conditions. Mental health has to do with extremism. So anything you're doing that is in the extreme, we have to start looking at you properly, because if we are not careful, you may go out of the natural order of things. So that is why mental health is actually a very big thing, because a human being naturally have a little bit of both sides. That is a normal human being. You're not just everything perfect,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
But when
Yes.
we start doing the extreme of either too good or too bad, that's when we start looking at you like, oh, come on, what's in the happen here? You understand? So it's
Is this
not
one
about just,
okay?
yes, there have to be balance. If there's no balance, then there's a problem. If you like
Okay.
to eat, you have to balance it. You don't eat beyond your body size. You don't eat beyond your eating capacity. You don't eat and start vomiting later. All the time when there's food, you eat till you start vomiting. Every time. You have the capacity to stop yourself from eating until you have it to this place. Then you go and vomit. You still come back and eat. Of course, something is wrong somewhere. So that's what we're talking about, the eating disorder. Then we have obsessive compulsive disorder. I'm sure many of you have heard of OCD. So OCD is obsessive compulsive disorder. What is OCD? Now we're talking about people that are too neat for themselves. Too neat. You go to somebody's house, you are very uncomfortable because the house is extremely neat. This person likes things in order. If they have colors, they want all the pinks in one place, all the
Mm.
greens in one place, all the everything to be order. If there's no order, they lose their self. If there's no order, they can lose their self and even harm themselves or others. There's someone I can tell you today that we have to work on the person, because the person didn't even know that they were having OCD. If you go to the house, the parents don't like to go to their child's house. The sisters don't like to go to their brother's house. Why? Whenever you go to the house, immediately they are leaving. You carry broom and sweep. So they're like, what if they worry this one? What are you doing? If you sit in a place, he's walking up and down with handkerchief to be cleaning everywhere that you have touched.
Wow.
Of course, something is wrong with this person. He's not doing it. Now you that is sitting there, like, am I a sickness or a disease? Am I a fly that anything I touch, you must come and clean it? So this person will become so obsessed with neatness that the person doesn't even know when they are overdoing it. So that is OCD. I'm very sure one or two of us might have met somebody that we have chronic OCD, and then we have the mild OCD. Yeah, so there are some people that love neatness, but their own have not entered colo. You understand? So those ones they can still manage it. But for somebody that have entered serious OCD, they have to consult a professional so that the person can walk through them
And
about the
then,
whole
okay.
thing. Yeah, then we have post-traumatic disorder, stress disorder, that is PTSD, if you've heard of it. Most military people, most people that have gone into extreme trauma are people that have PTSD. If you have seen something that is out of the ordinary or gruesome, like let's say you were part of a war zone and you saw people being killed, the possibility of you having PTSD will be high. Because why? Your brain will not be able to absorb everything and still maintain a normalcy. You need to, and most time people with PTSD, they don't like talking about it. So because they are not talking about it, it becomes even more chronic for them over time because they keep running the memory in their head over and over and over. It starts giving them nightmares.
Like
And
a
once it's
flash.
giving you nightmares, yes. So it's not, it will start affecting how they are also collaborating with people in their natural environment. So by the time this disease have reached, let's say 5 years, it's difficult for that person to be sat down and say, okay, let's work it out. But for a professional who knows what they're doing, it's very possible. But for a family friend or a member of the family, it's very difficult. But at the early stage, so it is advisable to encourage your family members to talk about what is disturbing them. That way they relieve some stress. Once you keep stress in the head, it causes PTSD. When you absorb it and keep it there, keep suppressing it, pressing it, putting so many things on top of it, by the time it reach where it go blow, it'll be like bomb. People like, this person that been normal before, what's happen? No, he wasn't actually okay. He was okay, but internally he wasn't. So that is not witchcraft. It's just that this person have gone through something traumatic, and they didn't trust anybody enough to talk to about it. And I'm going to just try to not go too much. I'll stop at ADHD, which is what? Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So many people have this and they don't know. Have you come
Number
across
one.
yourself when you are very forgetful? At
I'm
a
number
point you
one.
find yourself, oh, okay, all right. Yeah, so you become very forgetful. A young person,
Yeah.
you just have something now and they are looking for it. That's ADHD. Then we have
Yeah.
sometimes you don't complete task. You don't have the ability. When you can hold on to something and say, okay, let's start now, let's start. Give yourself 1 hour, something small, even a fly passing can distract you.
You can distract you, yeah.
And once that
But
thing distracts you, will leave that one now, you start another new one. So by the end of the week, you have like 10 to 20 projects you have done none. That's ADHD. So these are things we talk about that if you know exactly, like now you know what they do you, right? That is the first step. Once you know, okay, this is what is doing me, you start asking
me.
questions. How do I solve it? How do I fix this, right? That is
Okay,
how we
okay.
go from it. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Clemency, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. We actually go into how we can actually solve it. So, if you are just joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome. We have not gone too far. Clemency have actually explained what mental health is all about. She has told us that mental health is what is common, is not something far away from us. And for my own understanding, from everything she said, is like the way we actually do things, but when we do it more than it's supposed to be. Talking about mental health, everybody come from a home, We found ourselves in a school, we found ourselves at our workplace. And so many youths are going through all these circles, including those with disabilities, with so many problem or challenges. How can we as youth actually curtail ourselves within this circle so that it won't sink us down? Because there's no how we are down that we will be able to do things that we want to do.
Okay. As young people, I'll have to tell you something that if we do not change the way we live our lives and understand our environment, it may actually cause more harm than good. What do I mean by this? Before you say, okay, if you want to stop something, right now in Nigeria, we don't have any facility, let's say a government facility that is giving us the resources to say we are taking care of mental health issues. There is none at the moment.
Yes.
I think the last legislative law, if I'm not mistaken, of mental health law in Nigeria is 1958.
Wow, that's
So
imagine.
imagine. So this means that there is no much priority that is given to mental health, even from the point where government is supposed to get involved. They are not, because why? We see it as a witchcraft or something else. We don't see it as a priority. We don't see it as something that the human beings in our society need. So we always leave it at the back. We've been following with the Mental Health Act for legislation to give it like priority, but they are not seeing much in it because they are not going to make any money from
Because
it.
I don't see
You
anything
know?
bad in it. Like,
Yes, like you don't mad, waiting can remain. You understand? So that is the bias about mental health. And let's go down to the root. Me, I'm a criminologist, so I always go down to the root. When you go to the family unit, which is the first point of contact of every child that have ever been born in this world, the family unit, is either the mother, the father, or whoever that gave birth to that child is the first contact of that child. Now, if this person that the child comes in contact with does not value mental health, the possibility of this child growing up not to understand mental health issues and value them will be high as well. Do you understand? So if
yeah.
you go to some society in Nigeria today, some villages, they don't see, if they say somebody is mad, they'll start consulting different gods. They will never look at what caused this problem in the first place. So we have so many youths today that are going through so much. We have the economic situation in Nigeria that is driving everybody crazy. We have the weather situation, which is what we talk about climate change. The weather
Climate change,
itself, the
yeah.
heat can cause you to lose your senses.
On these days
Yes,
is even mad.
so we they talk about it and then somebody you are angry already because when the heat is hitting you, when you in Lagos, you know why Lagos people are very like tacky is because of the environment. It's choked.
Environment, yeah.
Everybody is feeling choked. So when you imagine yourself in a choked environment, what do you do? Are you that nice, sweet angel?
You
You
even
can
know
never
when you
be
will
nice,
change.
sweet, and then
Even if you
you
are
know,
sweet, you
and
won't know
you
when
will
you will
never
change.
know. You will not even know when you have changed it for somebody. That is why in
Mm.
Nigeria we have to say sorry first before you ask
Please,
questions.
so please, can
Yeah,
I?
because you don't even know waiting the chop with the person. You understand?
Exactly.
So the youths in Nigeria are going through a lot, not just Nigeria, in Africa, because of so many issues. We have the economic situation that is even one of the worst in the whole world. And then we have our climate condition is not conducive for people to even understand themselves. So at the end of the day, our young people, plus me, who are the young person, we are going through a lot. The government have not given it priority, so we don't even know how to go about it. And the organizations are available for us to even talk about mental health and solve these mental health issues. They are charging very high. So if somebody say, oh, I have a OCD, how can I go about it? I feel when they charge you high, because I'm gonna put am for my calculator, say I
Everything is
me sef
about
don
money.
spend much money, So this is what we
Yeah.
are asking, that okay, since government is not available to, mitigate, there are so many NGOs that are making it possible that, okay, just come and tell us. We may not
How we do.
medically help you, but we can listen to you. So that's what I do.
In
You
cancer,
just
yeah.
tell me your issues, then I just counsel you without, it is when it is now chronic, that is when I'll refer you to a
Yes.
facility where they render these services. But before then, there are some mental health issues that just counseling can help. So many young people today are into drug addiction. It's not like they really want to abuse these drugs. So many factors are driving them crazy. So the only way to calm themselves down is to take some of these drugs. You understand? So now I'm going to give you at least, let's say, 5 facts to carry home, so that I don't know who is listening and who is there. We have like 25 to 30% of
Please.
Nigerians, that is over 50
Okay.
million Nigerians, that are living with mental health today. Nobody is talking about it. Nobody has helped them go through it, right? We have less than 10% of people that have received mental health counseling or services in Nigeria. Less than 10%. We have over 200 million Nigerians, and less than 10% Nigerians have received professional help when it comes to mental health. Then we have the shortage of psychiatrists, counselors, psychologists. We have, if we are going to rate it according to Google, it's like 350 psychiatrists in the whole of Nigeria. We have over 200 million and only 350 psychiatrists. So now the misconception, we have so many misconceptions and also stigmas in this country, so much that so it is even adding to the issues of mental health, the stigma and the misconception. That's why nobody wants to say I have mental health issue, because they are going to say either you are Osu or you are this. They
Yeah,
give you
mad.
so many fancy names that you don't want to bear. So because of that, you would rather die with your mental health issue than open up and say, oh, I'm going through something. And then we have people that are not even, because many Nigerians don't even understand mental health. When you tell them about your mental issue, you see it on Gistlover. So who wants to be that popular? Nobody wants to be a infamous person. So instead of me telling you about my issue, let me keep it to myself. You understand? So those are the things we call it witchcraft. We discourage people and tell them that you don't have mental health issue. Don't ever say it. You tell your mother, mommy, I just feel some type of way. I think I have a ADHD. Your mother will say, ew, don't even say it. I don't want to hear that thing again. But that is the truth. That's what you are feeling. That's what you have. That's what is doing you. So at the end of the day, we need to remove that. Then we have I just made mention of it, the outdated legislation, which is since 1958. So we need to keep in mind that mental health issue is not just a fancy name, but a very serious issue in Nigeria. The reason why we have bad government is because some of these leaders have not even, they have never, ever received mental health counseling ever in their life. They don't know what is going on with themselves. So they say, there's this saying that says, hurt people, hurt people. That is, someone that is hurt is more than likely to hurt somebody. So when you have a leader who is going through a lot of disorders, different kinds of disorder, when he reaches power, he is going to start hurting every other person under him. Why? Because he himself is going through a lot. When you go to school, your university level, you see that, okay, we have our president, SUG president. He is a leader. He has never gone through any counseling before. So, of course, he's going to hurt you if he's hurting. If you have a pastor who has never gone through any counseling before, he is going to use his disorders to scam you of your money. If you have a parent who have never gone through any counseling before and they are going through a lot of mental disorder, they are going to use their disorder to hurt you and create disorders for you. If you have a sister who is going through a lot of internal mental disorder and they is not counseled, of course, they'll transfer it to you. So we're doing a lot of transfer of mental disorder from one person to the other. Today, Nigerians are so disordered that in the whole world, everybody is seeing us like a problematic society. Why? Because we don't have mental issue tables that we talk about. So how do we manage our own mental health? You say meditation. You can meditate. I'm going to tell you what I told someone, and it has been working for him. He said something. He said, Mama, they always do me like, make I just give up. Wetin I fit do? I was like, okay, this is what I should do. Are you a Christian? He said, yes. I saw it. Every day, anytime you feel that feeling, I am very sure that you have not told anybody. That's why it's overwhelming you. Since you don't have anybody you can talk to about this, no problem. Go inside your room, lock your door, comot all your clothes, all the cry that you can cry. If you want to blame God that day, blame God, but make sure what you cry very well. Think about everything that has been doing you and make yourself cry just cry. If you're going to lie on the ground and cry. Some people don't cry. When you cry, it removes every pressure from your heart to your eyes and down to the ground, which means that the tears are releasing some toxins from your body. Your brain is getting some freedom and some air to think. So when you cry very well, just be inside that. Like it's a normal something. When you're talking about mental health, people consider a normal something, but it's actually normal in mental health. If you want to get yourself, that thing that has disturbed you, cry about it. Then when you are crying, talk. Yes, no, be talking. Oh, you see me, this one. So assume you are talking to somebody. Be crying, be talking about it. This thing hurts me so much. This thing, this one, that. And bet you, your body will tell you when you are done. By the time you cry, I do this too. I'm going through a hero. So whenever I feel overwhelmed, I go inside, lock my door. If there's nobody to talk about, me like this. But when I'm done, my body will tell me when the tears should stop. That is when I'll start calming down. Before you know, your whole entire body will calm down. You will not sleep. When you wake up the next, you will feel a little bit better than last night. That's one way to go about it. Another way, you can go somewhere very quiet in your environment. Unfortunately, in this country, many places, they don't, most especially the mega cities, quiet parts where we can go and just be our original selves. But we always know how to navigate our environments as Nigerians. So what you just you and your thoughts alone. Sit there like you are in a Zen moment. So Zen is you just sit quietly. Just there. Just sit quietly and just be memorizing maybe a positive thought in your head. If it's something that will give you strength and have a single word, let's say, I am enough. Let's say you are having this issue of shyness, you're a shy person, self-esteem. Go, sit, and start saying to yourself, I am enough, I am enough, I am enough. Keep in your Zen moment. By the time you're going to feel some changes, because everything has to do from the brain. Everything that has, so you are like you're formatting your brain to understand that, okay, this thing that is thought process, and go into this thought process, because most mental health issues are negative aspects of what the brain is telling your brain. This negative part, close it, open the positive aspect of my more positivity than negativity. So what you do is just say something to yourself that is positive. Keep saying it. I have someone today that we've been talking about mental health issue. What I tell this person, every day, go in front of your mirror. Hello. Just every morning you wake up, go and bath. When you're going up, say, wow, you're beautiful. Say beautiful things to yourself. Go to the mirror, look at yourself in the mirror. Take a good bath first. Clean up. Stand in front of your mirror and start telling yourself, you are handsome. You are handsome. Today you are going out. You are going to be very you say you are going, you see that later you won't carry and go submit. You are going to submit that later. You're going to get positive. Be talking to yourself in that mirror. Because what you are doing reflective messaging. You are messaging yourself. The mirror reflects whoever is standing in front of it. So once you are talking to that mirror, it means that the mirror is sending back that same message to your body. So now
it's
there
like
is
a
something we call
reflection.
magnetic energy. Magnetic energy, that is the kind of thought process you think is what you will be attracting. That's why some people, when they start thinking negative, everything around them will start happening negative. It's a
Negatively. Wow.
magnetic thought process. So stop thinking negative things in your head. Stop thinking negative. Something happened, you start thinking of the negative first. No, start looking at the positive aspects of life. We know that there are so many things we cannot do medically or with money, but there are these simple little experiments that we can be carrying out on our own, cost zero kobo. All it needs is for you to have that commitment that, okay, this thing, I'll be doing it every day. It does not cost you anything to tell yourself you are fine now, Abby. It doesn't. It does not cost you.
That's like the
You need to
simplest
go to the
medicine.
bank, open your, yeah, you are giving yourself
Yeah.
a dose of positivity. Just stand
Yeah.
in
Thank
front
you
of it.
very much.
Read books, positive books that talk about mental health.
I once told somebody that when I'm not happy, I like watching comedy. Anything that would just make me happy, just take away my
Exactly.
mind and stuff. I think, yeah. So yeah, it's very important, like she said, Clemency said, that we actually put ourselves first, think about ourselves. Ourselves, like, is like we are the medicine to what actually are. So wherever we are, either in school, at home or workplace, let us find a way to actually work with this and move on with life, so that it won't affect us personally, it won't affect people around us, and it will affect our environment. So without wasting time, I don't know if anybody have a question. If you have a question, please raise up your hand then I will ask you to unmute yourself so that you can answer your question. Because I have so many things to actually talk about, but because of time, we don't want to waste people's time here. While we are waiting for question, I actually have this in my talking about social media, because you were talking about social media the other time, that somebody using TikTok to actually promote his disorder, like making it look okay. Is it actually a bad thing? Apart from that, looking at this social media, how can, because some people, you have a page, you have likes and stuff like that, then you are looking at other influencers, they have so many people following them, they are living big life, and you want to live up to that expectation and stuff like that. At the end of the day, you are feeling unfulfilled and stuff like that. Well, do you think actually that social media is part of the problem we have as youth that affect our mental health, apart from mental health, also our self-esteem? And if yes, please why? So
Okay.
if you have question, please raise up your hands.
Social media is a two-way sword. It's very sharp and at both ends, depending on how you use it. So if you use it positively, it will give you the positive outcome. If you use it negatively, it will also give you the negative outcome. Now, there are some people on, okay, let's say they have ADHD. So they create more awareness about ADHD. Now they talk about it. Oh, I have ADHD. They find a community on the social network. And what they do in that social media, let's say, for example, TikTok, they just talk about their in the house. You hear someone, they just say, okay, my biggest issue is I have ADHD. I want to talk about ADHD. How do I go about it? So they start showing people their ADHD practicals. So they keep videos and record. You have this thing. This is some of the symptoms. They'll start showing you. So you that is watching it, like, true, I get this thing. From there, now you've had someone that is identifying with your issue that you can talk about the issue. And one thing I just see, or a support group that you can talk to about your issue, it helps more, because in mental health, talking about it is more than anything you can think of. Right?
Wow.
So to create awareness about your issue and find your people, and you discuss about it together. You understand? So the more you are discussing about your mental health issue, you are not going to start seeing it as a mental health issue, sir.
Become like a normal
And then you are
stuff.
solving each other's issue, because by there you say, okay, how do we? You start asking yourself this question: what do we now do? Which solution have you even used to get yourself by? Somebody will tell you, you too, you tell them the little you have done, and before you know, when you put them together, you've gotten a massive environment of solutions. You understand?
Okay,
The
thank you for
negative
that.
is when you contentment is everything. Many people having mental issue today. It's also have a very little branch of incontentment. Then when you don't have contentment, you start looking at other people and what you are doing or how you are living your life, and you are now comparing yourself with them. It can drive you crazy. Of things simply because someone is doing something better than you does not mean tomorrow you are not going to do more things, but you have to stay within your limits, be content with what you have, and build from there and perfect your skill. By the time you are done perfecting your skill, there's a saying that says expertise, and then success will pursue you. Looking at it that you want to be chasing success, you're going to be having a lot of issues, because success, the more you chase it, the more it runs away from you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have somebody raising up his hand. Emmanuel, please can you unmute your mic and ask your question briefly? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to thank the speaker so much. I've learned a whole lot of things. But I want to talk on one particular, the last the last mental health you talked about, that was the ADHD. Please, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, I can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay, the attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
Yes.
Okay. As young people, especially those of us that are very ambitious and want to
Mhm.
succeed legally at all costs, we tend to think faster and at a greater rate, and we
Yes.
may tend to even develop ADHD in the process. You can see example of there's not many great people actually that even have this disorder, like people like Richard Branson, Leonardo da Vinci,
Mhm.
John F.
Yeah.
Kennedy, Bill Gates. And my point is this: how do we manage this ADHD and still the quest of being successful and still create impact in our society and our generation at large? And then my second question is, this ADHD actually sometimes results out of neurotransmitter, that is dopamine and the adrenal hormone and the rest. So how can
Yeah.
we help, like what way can an individual be helped so that we can actually harness this ADHD positively? You understand? Because I know it has a lot of positive impact.
Yeah.
There are some organizations that employs people that have ADHD more. It's a criteria for the employment. Especially when they want to employ people that will manage their company, they employ staffs that shows a symptom of this
Symptoms of
ADHD.
ADHD.
So my question is this: how can this ADHD be harnessed properly in this society? Thank you very much. I actually appreciate it.
That's a very good question. All right. So, first question is, how do we manage ADHD? If I answer it, it's going to fall into the next question you asked. So, how do you manage? You see, it has to do with lack of attention and also attention. That is, you are doing two things at the same time. You are giving so much intense attention until something distracts you, then you don't give it attention. Then you go back and give something else attention. Now, how do you manage it? Have a task list. If you can have a task list and prioritize, start asking yourself, build it, let's say every morning or every night, you build a task list, just have a book, write everything you feel like you want to do for the next day. If it's in the night, for the next day, then if it's in the morning, for the whole day, write it down. Then when you are done writing it, then start looking at them from the order of priority. Which one is much more important and doable now, and which one is doable later? The ones you know you can achieve in very short period of time, put them first. Then the ones you feel that they're going to take a longer period of time to achieve, put them at the bottom. Then when you are done, start following, time yourself. I have ADHD, so I'm telling you what I do. What I do is I have a clock. I don't use calendar because calendar will not inform me in time. So I use my alarm clock. What do I do with my alarm clock? Put it one, not even one, it at the direct time the thing is going. Let's say if it's supposed to have, I'm supposed to start my, and I put my alarm clock for, if I'm not careful. That's how my own ADHD is. I'll put it on that 9 o'clock dot, inform me. So once it's 9 o'clock, when I see it, and I will write on what that thing mean. It's so on Zoom. So immediately it's my alarm on the link, and I join my Zoom meeting. Everything that I'm doing for the whole of that, be able to manage that. It will help for the companies that employ, not all company, but the few companies that with ADHD have attention to detail. So because of that, this is the only project. They'll give you only one project. They will not. So that's what an ADHD having too many projects until you finish one. So what the companies do is they will just give you fire on you to finish it. Be the best project. Why? Very intense when you are doing every detail, everything. Your T's and make sure that you are able to handle for that project. That is why they small extra that will be needed project is what they need. About you can have a checklist that you can put in, you time your reduce the number of tasks. The next task. So instead of having less, why not have 2 in a day? Make sure you follow them from the easiest to the no matter how bad I feel, I tax every day. If there's any day, I don't want too much. My best. Sometimes if the limited time frame, I give or just those 2 tasks. It's what I'm doing. I will never enter the next. I have to be committed into actually solving. I hope my Mr. Emmanuel.
Yes, it's very clear. Like I kind of understand is because like I'm very grateful actually. I'm very grateful for ever attending this
Thank you.
seminar actually because
Okay.
I have kind of similar trait, but I understand what you mean now and I know how to go about it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Manuel, for that wonderful question. Like I say, if you have any question, please raise up your hand or unmute your mic right now, or drop your question at the chat box. Probably you don't want to say anything here, so let us interact. Let us say something. She has talked a lot about mental health. What question do you have, or what contribution do you have? What just call our attention
I
to
hope someone.
something. Okay, yeah, Kolawole Michael. Please, you can unmute your mic to ask your question.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your sharing. My question is this. Given the background of every one of us, we believe that we are faced with different challenges. And given the situation of Nigeria now, we have a lot on our plate to fry. So the question is, if you have someone who maybe after doing the work for a while, or maybe after a lot of time she has spent or he has spent on her own, and the next thing she felt a kind of blank. And this time around, if you ask her, she's restless, or he or she is restless, and you ask the person, what's your problem? And that person cannot pinpoint one particular thing that is the problem. What can we say? Is this another, what kind of mental health disorder is this? And what is the solution towards addressing or helping this person to overcome this kind of a situation?
That should be should be under the category of mood disorder. That person has mood disorder. So now mood disorder is when somebody have some emotional disorder that creates maybe withdrawal from society or fear or worries, anxieties. Those are mood disorder. So this person could either, if they diagnose, they could have a different set of disorder. But since I'm not talking with the person, I may not know which the type of disorder from the mood disorder category is affecting this person. So I'm going to just generalize it. So when someone is having a mood disorder. So many things could have happened. But because you are not a professional, you will not be able to ask the right questions. So there are some instances that this could happen. Now, if someone used to take, let's say, alcohol, and they are trying to withdraw from the alcohol, it's going to cause them a lot of mental health disorders, especially mood disorders. They may be anxious, they feel anxiety, they'll feel headache, they'll feel different type of things. They'll feel they don't want to talk to anybody, they just want to stay on their own. Then it could be also that this person does not abuse drugs, but maybe a trauma they have not talked about is affecting them. And because they keep replaying it in their head, is draining their energy. So by the time they have reached the peak of their energy drainage, they'll just collapse. So just not physically collapse, I mean emotionally, they just collapse. They don't talk to anybody, they just recede into themselves and stay there because they feel nobody else can help them with their problem. So what can somebody that have such an issue do? You see, like you said, if you don't know how to take care of yourself, you can actually enter a mental health disorder. You need to also understand that you have to talk about it. If you are a friend to this person, encourage this person to either go the best way. If such person have that kind of real collapse, they don't want to talk about it. They will always tell you, I don't want to talk about it, I don't want to talk about it. So what you can do is just say, okay, go inside your room, go and talk to yourself about it. Go and lock yourself inside the room and just start crying. It sound, they will be like, are you normal? Waiting they do this one. Just tell the person, go and cry. Don't worry, I'll give you some time. Just go and cry because this person have internalized something. They don't want to tell you. They don't tell anybody. Their parents will be asking them. They don't want to talk about it. But there's only one person they can talk to, which is themselves. They are not ashamed to say it to themselves. They are not, most times when you see something like this, maybe a lady or a boy that have been sexually assaulted, they normally have this kind of behavior. So just go inside, cry and cry and cry and cry and cry. When they come out as the alpha, you see that even them, they'll start feeling some relief. You understand? Because you cannot tell somebody, you can't force, in mental health, we do not force people to tell you anything. If you ask someone a question and they say, I don't feel like talking, they don't feel like talking. You wait for them to when they want to talk to you about it. If you are not a professional, don't force it. If there's a way you can refer them to a professional, fine. If you cannot refer them to a professional, do not carry their issue and tell anybody that they did not tell you to tell to, because it's going to cause more harm than good for the person. So don't even tell anybody, just talk to them that, okay, please, I know that you cannot talk to me about it. Can you talk to your mother about it? No. Can you talk to your father? No. Your friend? God? No. You now start getting frustrated. No, don't do that to yourself. What you do is just say, okay, whenever you feel like talking, I am here for you. You're already giving the person an assurance that whether it's 10 years, whether it's 5 years, whether it's 2 days, you are there. So it will take them some time to process that. So once they have been able to process it, if they find you reliable enough, they can still come back to talk to you about it. But if they don't find you reliable enough, because some people, when they tell you one thing, you carry it and go and spray. So when you are that type of person, don't even expect them to talk to you about it. But if they find you worthy, then they'll tell you. So don't even force people and say, you must tell me now. And they'll start suspecting you. You want to use the information and do what with it. So just refer, or you let them tell you at their own time. So that's
Can
it.
too much of work? I know stress is another thing that can bring about this blankouts.
Yeah.
But if majorly this person is being faced with situation whereby is overworking, over
Mm-hmm.
laboring himself, maybe in order to meet up with time, So can that also bring about the blankouts?
Yes. So if somebody is a stress disorder, if somebody is putting themselves through a lot of stress, they can even have other medical conditions attached to even just creating more stress for themselves. So disadvantaged economy. So many of us, we don't have the right kind of salary that we want to live just normal lifestyle. We are not saying extravagant lifestyle, just to have a house, a good house and a roof with good food in your table. You cannot if you don't work very, very hard. So that makes people to stress themselves just to be able to meet up to just basic amenities, just be able to eat something nice and wear something nice. They have to work extremely hard. So that way they will stress and stress their body. So what you need to tell the person is to practice self-medication and also try to relax when there's time for relaxation. Understand, if you don't care for yourself, you cannot even do the job the next day. So you have to find a way to care for yourself. You don't just go about working. You have to take some time out. When it's time for, you can even ask your organizations to give you, like, let's say, a time for yourself. If they can, sometimes some organizations usually give leave. So you can take your leave, go somewhere and take very good care of yourself. The best way, if you don't have money to take very good care of yourself, is to go to if you have a village that have a lot of trees and air, that doesn't have a lot of technology, you can go down there. Those riverside that you are seeing in the villages, those are places, that's why if you see village people, they are more calmer. They go to all these places to calm themselves, to just enjoy the weather, walk barefooted. When you see green grass, if you are not in a village setting, go to a place that have very green, natural green grass, remove your shoe and walk on the green grass. Connect with nature. If you're having stress, connecting with nature, find ways to connect with nature. I didn't say you should smoke a bowl, because I'm very sure my fellow youth is, yeah, that's another way to connect with nature. No.
Don't smoke
Yeah.
a bowl.
Just remove your shoe and walk. You can hug a tree. I've hugged a tree before and I felt very good about myself. A tree gives, yeah, you can hug a tree. Go and.
Okay, I want to ask another question.
Okay.
Like Emmanuel rightly asked a question that, given the our system, our body system, the hormone imbalance we have, which can bring about serious reason why one can be stressed mentally. Now, there are some people who believe that at the slight headache they have, they want to use drugs. Not that they are
Yeah.
addicted to drugs, and they feel the only solution to it. And every
That's
an hour they want to take drugs due to the stress they felt they are having. Come across with these people. How do we
see.
help them? How do we counsel them? How
Health,
do
yeah.
we, yeah.
Mental health. If you want to counsel someone, you have to take courses that would show you how to go about it. That is why not every pastor can counsel. Simply because they are a pastor does not mean they are a counselor. When you want to talk to someone about something that is inside them that you cannot see, you have neutral point of view, which means that you're not biased with you are asking genuine questions. You are not asking them because you just want to talk. You want to feel among people that want to solve problems. Please do not try to counsel anybody.
Right.
Either tell the person to do is to just go and talk. Either they will walk, what they call self-meditate, talk positively about themselves, try to connect with to talk to about their mental health disorder. Any other thing that is going from to a doctor, a psychiatric, or a counselor that have the ability to counsel them. There are so many people out there.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Clemency. Okay, so because of time, I don't know if there's any other question, last question before we round
Yeah,
up and go. Okay. Thank you.
right. I want to appreciate Clemency for the presentation. It's really nice and fine. But just a
Thank
quick
you.
one. In trying to explain about mental health, how do you bring the concept, disorder, trauma, and habit in it? Because, habit, it's something you learn over time and you get used to it as you speak about extremism. So how do you get to explain these concepts in it? And it is very important. A step towards helping a patient or somebody who has a fault is the person's acceptance of maybe what is going on with him. So how can
Yeah.
one as a person get to identify that he or she has a mental health issue? How can one be able to do that? And in some of the ways you have proffered about trying to address such issues, it seems like one needs to carry out some actions that seem mentally imbalanced or inappropriate to be able to address these issues. Like you were saying, if you feel depressed or something about an issue, mental health, you cry a lot and speak to yourself as if you're talking with someone, and get to look at the mirror. These are some actions that when people get to see you, they will be wondering what is happening. Are you all right upstairs? So how now, if how now can one be able to identify um, such as disorders and be able to accept it? Because some people, like, they do things and they feel that is right for them. So what is the process now? You'll be able to guide them through acceptance that this is a disorder that they need to work about. So thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first
Good.
one is this. Yeah? There's habit is part of addiction. Health and there's addiction. When you are developing a habit, it becomes an different from when you have a mental health disorder. Now, addiction and over again, and now it's part of you, right? It is not part of you, become part of you. Mental health is that internally happened to you and you internalized it. So it's genetics or your childhood, wherever the thing happened, a trauma, something. It. You did not discuss it with anybody. You just internalized it, right? Or you have a genetic condition, you keep it to yourself. It's still internal. That's logical, right? But for addiction most, because the person took a step into that addiction. Sometimes mental health, you step into it, while addiction, many a times you take a step into the addiction. Do something, because we're looking at it from the point of not some issues, that is mental health disorders that are not chronic. When a mental health in a work and it will solve the issue, no. That is why I say once the symptoms persist, you need to consult. I'm saying that you should talk to yourself. This is self-care. This is self-affirmations. When you're studying psychology, we call it reverse psychology. You are reversing the issue, mentality of something. If you feel you are inadequate, you don't have self, you can look at yourself in the mirror and reverse that psychology. About when I said you should go inside and cry in the psychology of that person, having nobody to talk to, your brain thinks because you're speaking out, your brain into someone. So it's relief. You're just trying to remove the pressure from your brain and about something. I bet you that when you talk about a bit better, especially when you're talking to someone that on a neutral standpoint, they are not looking at you like or somebody that just want to air out, that want to spill so many things out. So just talk about anything. By the time you are done talking, you will feel a problem half shared is half solved. The only problem we're having now is that may add to our problem. That is why many people don't want to share the problem. Problem with half solved. Then acceptance. When you say, I have something, I 50% of the work. If you say, oh, I have ADHD, I want to solve my ADHD of your ADHD. The other 50% now is the commitment into the solution. Somebody have ADHD, they can say, okay, now I have ADHD, what can I do? They start looking for somebody that can help them. Else out there have ADHD. Our sister here just said, she have 50% into the solution. The moment she takes another step, she takes maybe a 10% step into somebody about it that can help her, that is already 60%. So a counselor or a psychologist or a psychiatrist does not, mostly, they just guide you into solving your own issues. They don't give you the solution and write it in paper, follow it, have the solution. But because your brain is deluded, there's so much smoke covering the ideas and solutions. The professional does is to bring air and be blowing the smoke away. So by the time they are solution clearer and it start making sense to you. Does that make any sense, my brother?
Yeah, it makes a bit of sense. I just want to, my concern earlier, it's about how do you get to bring someone to accepting that really he has a deformity, he has something that he needs to control. Because, it's one thing, a person to say, yes, I identify this. It's another for you to tell the person and he tells you yes. Because he may be doing something and you would comment to it that this is a disorder. This is something that you need to work about. For instance, let me say you were talking about eating disorder. And to me, I eat very well. I feel eating is perfect. It's nice for me. Then you come to tell me that it is a disorder. It's something I need to work on.
Have you been paying attention, my brother? Attention, because I did not say eating is a disorder. I said extreme, and I made an example. Yes, so if you go to let's say went to a place where they sell burgers and you buy 50, go, do you have a disorder?
Well, for me, that may be the level I can consume, So how
That's
do you
what I'm
bring
asking
me to
you.
understanding
Does it, speaking, biologically, at a go, consume 50 burgers as a normal circumstance?
that is my capacity. If that's my capacity, sure, definitely.
Okay, can I tell you something, my brother?
Yeah, go on.
If you bought 100 liters in the 40 liters tank,
Not at all.
yeah, so that's what the person is doing to themselves. They cannot carry 50 burgers every day. It's not. There's a limit to which you can drink water. The moment you're sick, the water that is good for you will start. Why? The way the biology of a human being was created, of anything, you cannot overdo more than your body. So the body burgers, that is where obesity comes in, sickness. So when your body you start forcing you every day. Yeah, my brother, in the next one,
Yeah, I'm here.
fit into the screen of this meeting, and you, because you start having shortage of breath, you will not be able to function normally in the society. The possibility of you having a body, the possibility of you having friends is gone. The possibility of you even working, family, will be gone. So at the end of the day, you have, from just one disorder, of medical conditions and mental health disorders. Now, you cannot force anybody in mental health to, cannot. The only time you can force is a chronic solution. Now, you are not forced, working with the permission of the family members to solve that problem. So you are not forcing you to help them solve the problem. Now, let's take, for instance, gone on the street, he's now mentally out of touch with society. This person does not have that you can pick from the street to try to help revive the person's mental state. But aside from, because they have ADHD, you identify it from afar, they have ADHD. You just come and knock at ADHD. Oh, I'm going to follow me, make I go solve this your problem. There's going to be a lot of problems. You and call you and say, please, I have an issue, I need your help. That is when you can render. But if it's extreme cases of schizophrenia, whereby the person can even of you, now that is a medical emergency. So we need to understand the differences and the categories of this.
All right.
Take the person
All right.
immediately to the hospital.
Thank you
Okay?
very much, Clemency. Thank you very much. I'm sure Victor, sorry, I'm sorry, Matthias, Victor gets that. And all I can say right now is that I've actually learned a lot. It's as if I came with a little of knowledge about mental health. I'm going with a lot. And I'm very sure other people too, yeah, are feeling the same way. Thank you very much, Clemency, for putting on giving us this great insight about mental health. Because mental health issue is causing a lot of hard work right now among the youth, and there is a lot of conflict. Even at home, there is conflict because of some of this mental health issue, and that's why it is very important for us to take charge of this, take hold of it, and get done with it. Something, and this starts from personal orientation, personal awareness, and then taking charge, like what Clemency said, taking charge of your situation and finding solution to it. Clemency, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I don't know if you have any goodbye words to say to us. We go.
Okay. Well, I'm so grateful to everybody that so far to listen to this meeting. There's only one thing I'm going to say. Mental health is a real thing in the world, and money to take care of your mental health issues. There are other ways, traditional methods, or there is self-care that you can do out there, which is to meditate. read books, connect with nature, positive things to yourself. You can also go inside your room and cry out your pains or whatever that have bothered you in this life. You can go in, lock your and cry about it until you're able to sleep. Then also, when it comes to us helping others, we should also understand that we cannot force people. We cannot force them to follow us or to go to where we want them to go simply because we've been able to identify a problem from their own end. Until they allow us and give us consent, we should try as much as possible to only refer them to professionals. So I thank everybody, and I believe that in the near future, maybe next month or something, to also create this avenue, and then we'll have participants that will come with their own presentations so that I can also equally learn from other. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are grateful. Thank you very much for your time, for everything. We are grateful. I actually learned a lot. It was so in depth. Thank you very much. We are very, very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We go again. Thank you very much, everyone that have stayed up to this time. We appreciate you coming. We love you, and I want you to know that this is our Ubon Humanitarian Foundation. We have our Facebook page and Instagram page. Please, Michael, if you can help me paste it on the comments so that they won't be strolling up again. Follow us on our Facebook, on our Instagram, and of course subscribe to our YouTube. Also our linking, you can follow our page, like our page, and I'm sure by the next time we are meeting for this particular program, it will be something very more interesting. Encounter with Ubon is about us, is about we youth, is about what we are going through. And if you look at this particular topic, we can see that there is a lot going on. And if we are able to tackle just this one mental health, we'll be able to actually tackle the situation or the problem we are facing in our society. Communicate with yourself, and of course, one step by step, we overcome all the situation. Okay, so thank you, and this is where I say goodbye. And before I say goodbye, yes, this particular meeting is recorded and will be posted on our YouTube channel. So in case you want to do reference or you want to go back, maybe you didn't get what she said very well, of course you can go back, you can watch it full on our YouTube channel. Thank you very much for your time. Okay, bye for now. And before we go, let us say bye-bye. If you can, if there is light in your place, we can just say hello to ourselves. Please open your camera. Let's just say hello to ourselves before we go. At least we that is remaining. I know some of us, our place is already dark.
Can't see me.
Okay, I can see some. I think some are outside. I can see our beautiful face.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
People fine for this section, like can see. Well, thank you for joining. Thank you for
Thank you,
joining.
Clemency.
Matthias, Victor, Emmanuel, Deborah, Michael, Bryce. Thank you. I love you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Yeah, bye.